A living dog is worth less than a dead lion. Such a strange statement, isn't it? But how wise is that statement? What is your why? And why is it worth living? When I was a single man, I didn't have very many cares. I cared for myself. I had a social life. I had parties. I had friends that came over to my house. I became successful as a computer salesperson. I became successful as an entrepreneur as I bought, sold, and rented houses. I accumulated some wealth. I accumulated some friends. I accumulated some clout within the church that I went to. I had what I needed. I never really thought about my why. Why should I think about my why? I was content. I was satisfied with my life. Then I got married. And I started to think, oh, there's something that shifted inside of me when I got married. But I still carried along because my wife was very self-sufficient. She had the ability to fend for herself, pay for herself. She was actually 4 years older than me. So we joined this marriage. I still didn't need to really think about my why until one day everything changed for me. It was the day that I became a father for the first time. I held my little son Josiah in my arms and I realized that my life was not the same. That I had something way greater inside my hands that I was responsible for, and I started to question my life. I started to question my being. I started to question why I was living. And I started to question what my why was now. Perhaps you feel like you're at the same place. You're questioning what your why is today. The why is absolutely important to find out, as I've discovered. When you discover what your why is, you aren't only discovering yourself more, you're discovering what your future can be. But your why is not just important. It is important to be incredibly clear with what your why is. Otherwise, it will elude you. It has to be so clear that you have an idea of what it is in your future, and you can see it clearly in your future, even more prevalently than what you see right here in the present. You have to be able to see it in the future even more grandly than the immediate pressing needs that you have in your life. If you don't, you may get caught in the abyss of responding to every situation that comes your way. You may get caught in the abyss of just being scattered and just going along with everybody else, doing what everybody else does. The why is why we live. So why is a living dog worth more than a dead lion? Life is in the living, ladies and gentlemen. As I continued to contemplate this question, the why worth living, I came to a place for myself where I needed to know the answer. And I didn't need to just know the answer. I needed to know the answer. Because it drove me to this place of deep, compelling conviction that I needed to be someone that needed to also show other people what their why was. And that drove me to my profession today, which is coaching. And as a coach, I realized that there's something that's bigger inside of me, that I have a possibility of helping other people with their faith and with their hope and with their why. And at the end of the day, really what coaching is helping people find their why and live it. So wouldn't it be responsible for me to know what my why is and also live it first? So I came up with a strategy. And here's the strategy, ladies and gentlemen. The why is really in 3 parts. And I'll show you the most important part, which is the first part. And really it starts with a W with access points. The first axis is motivation. You need to know what motivates you, what drives you, what gets you going. Ask yourself what makes you happy. What do you crave to do? When you are excited about something, what is it that you get excited about? What can you lose the day just doing and loving? Then you know what motivates you. The second access point is passion. When you take a look at passion, what are you passionate about? Go deeper. Dig the layers deeper. And you can ask yourself, what do I really want? And then ask yourself even a deeper question. What do I really, really want? And pause. And brainstorm. And write it down. And go deeper and deeper and deeper into what really drives you until you get to a spiritual place. Because that's usually when people know what they're really passionate about. Now the why doesn't come with the next part. The why doesn't come without obstacles. That's a big word. My obstacle is writing the word. Why? Why are obstacles so important? Because they build you up. Because they're the things that really are the challenges that you need. However, obstacles also prevent you from accomplishing your why. Unless you're really grounded with your passions and your motivation, these obstacles will throw you in a different direction. So you need to know what the obstacles are. Write down what your obstacles are. Write down what's causing you to block, to not live in the passions and the motivations. Write down what the obstacles are because it's so important. The next part is commitments. Write down what you're committed to. When you write down and you know what you're committed to, you'll be able to go further and you'll be able to dream more. Ask yourself, what am I committed to? What do you want to be committed to? And write a list. And then write down, how committed am I? Are you committed 40%? Are you committed an 80%? Or are you all in? If you're committed and you're all in, how much more powerful is it for you to know that you're living something that's bigger? And by the way, when you're committed and you're all in, you will have the power to overcome those obstacles that hit us like this. And sometimes give us that left hook so we'll be able to move on. The next part that's so important is legacy. And I say legacy / purpose. Legacy is really the place where you know that this is what you're meant to do. This is what you're called to do. This is you giving back. This is you living a legacy. Not leaving a legacy, living a legacy today. You are a living human being. You are a living person. There's something for you to live for. There's a why that's greater than what you are today. And knowing that this right here is so important, that there's something that you're leaving behind every single day, and there's something that you can live for that's bigger than yourself, should compel you to know that you can do something amazing in this world. So I implore you to exert yourselves. Find out what your why is. Use this formula. Use this strategy. Dig deeper into yourselves. Because you don't want to just live as a dog that's just barking. And you certainly don't want to be a dead lion. But I'm telling you today that you are an alive lion. Right now you are alive, right? Yes. You are alive. Would you choose between being an alive, barking dog or an alive, wild lion today? What's your answer? A lion. So for those of you that chose a live, wild lion, be compelled to know that there's a why inside of you that's worth living. There's a why that's inside of you that's worth going out and fighting for. Be the wild lion that's inside of you and have the why worth living.